Hello everybody, Sanjita here, and today I'm coming to you with the Balance of Legends, a video where I'm going to talk about how Datacron Set 9 is affecting all Galactic Legends, and honestly all of them are benefiting a lot from Set 9, but which ones are benefiting the least and which are benefiting the most. I'm going to go through the Galactic Legends in order of who benefits the least to the most, and talk about specifics about why I think they benefit less or more. I'm going to get into all that because these super stats are huge for Galactic Legends, already super tanky, and plus 60% max health and max protection, if it's working right, is going to be just enormous. But there's a few key mechanics that are nuanced to it, so I'll get into all that as well. So the character, or the Galactic Legend, I think benefits the least from all these super stats is Lord Vader. And yes, he does have damage over times, which are great against high defense or high health. But he is getting less survivability than others because when he is taking all of his health and all his protection, turning it into health, that actually happens before the Datacron applies, I believe. And then I don't think the combined amount is what is multiplied by 60% or 75% right now, but 60% if it's working correctly. So I think he's missing out on like 60% times the protection. That's for the whole team. So he still gets more survivability from that level 3, but it is it's not as much as others. And yes, he can ramp up his damage good. I think he's going to be, and so he will be able to handle increased survivability on other teams, but I think he's going to be mainly an offense-only team because as Calvin Awesome just showed us, you can even beat him with gas right now. Now, that wasn't against, and I tried it out myself, it worked very well against a Lord Vader that didn't even have the protection up Datacron, which helped that counter 4 gas. But I don't know how it's going to work against an increased survivability Lord Vader with a 15% level 3. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but he's one of the only, I think he's the only Galactic Legend that still might prefer set 8, either for the extra protection up for the damage over times or for extra damage for a Maul. But he is still going to be very useful and very good. His dots are going to be at a premium if you go against the right team, but it's hard to get those stacking super high because there's so many cleanses out there. But he's still going to be very good, but I definitely think he benefits the least. Like, for example, he already had trouble against Rey because it's a timeout risk. You don't have enough damage to get through that. It's hard for JMK because of getting through their survivability. And when those teams have increased survivability, it's even harder. And Jabba can't really touch Lord Vader, but Lord Vader will have trouble against Jabba as well on offense just because he'll be even thicker to get through. The Supreme Leader Kylo might have increased viability against Lord Vader, I'm not sure. But yeah, Lord Vader comes in the least. The one who benefits the second least, and he still does benefit, is Jabba. And this is mainly because he has a mixed alignment squad. Right now, it's bugged and you're getting 75% anyway for all factions, I think. But in the end, he's gonna have to you're gonna have to choose a dark side Datacron, so it's only gonna count for him, Chrysanthemum, and Boba Fett, and give 30% max health and protection, and that's in 5v5. In 3v3, he'll get even less because you want boost with him, so then it'll be only like 15%. So he gets less survivability. It does help his viability somewhat because he likes the survivability, but not as much as some others. And yes, thermal detonators do percent based health effect damage. So he can scale his damage very well. He also has an insta-kill, which is amazing. So his stock is definitely going up, but I just don't think it's going up as a lot of the others. And I think there can be plenty of disputes on that, but he's still going to be great on defense, great on offense. In my opinion, he might be the best counter to Rey. But yeah, I'd love to hear thoughts. Boosh is going to be amazing in this Datacron set. Her thermals are going to be key. But then 3v3, I think this team will suffer for sure. Benefiting the third least, so rank 5 out of 7 for Galactic Legends, is Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. And if there's one character that can get enough offense to chew through even increased survivability, it's Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. He can stack his damage up to infinity. He just needs to survive long enough, and this will help him out. I mean, I have mine modded for decent health. If you get a lot of extra health on a stat, that's going to be great, and then the extra 60% if you have a full dark side team, he's going to have a better chance at getting to his full ultimate, and once he gets into that, he can pretty much keep it going. Kylo Ren Unmasked is going to be surviving much later. In 3v3, it's going to be nice with him and Watt or Night Sisters or something. He can just keep stacking his damage up and up and up. I foresee that he'll have increased viability against Jabba, against Lord Vader, maybe Rey. I'm not sure. Like, I really have to see that. I haven't played around with it yet. Probably not JML, probably not JMK. And Sith Eternal Emperor, he already has Sith Eternal Emperor's number. But it's just amazing. I mean, the way he siphons, he's adding siphon on his basics, siphon on his stun, and then just, he wants the match to go longer. Timeout risks don't really happen that much with Supreme Leader Kylo, except against like Lord Vader or something. But Lord Vader, if he's able to stay at full health or get back to full health easier, it makes it easier for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, because you just need that one huge crit at the end to one-shot a Lord Vader. So I'll keep an eye on this. He could actually benefit less than Jabba or Lord Vader, and I'm just not seeing it yet. But the main reason I think he's benefiting a lot is he has the best damage ramp in the game, pretty much in my opinion. And the survivability is going to help his pretty flimsy team. He can't be crit when they have advantage. But the fact does remain that most of his team is flimsy, like Hux and First Order Officers, Sith Trooper if you're running for full First Order. So they can only benefit so much from that. But in 3v3, he's going to be pretty important. And right smack dab in the middle is Jedi Master Luke. And intuitively, you might think he benefits the most, because he has that granted ability that deals damage based on protection. But that is not... Yeah, based on 60% of his base max protection. So what that means, base max protection, it's not including anything granted by abilities. So that won't include anything in his leadership or his uniques or abilities on Datacrons. It will count the stats from the Datacrons, but we already had that in set 8. So I don't know, I still think a set 9 Datacron is going to be better for him overall. The survivability is going to be amazing. He's going to be so tanky. He's going to have, like, I don't know, over 500,000 hit points when it's all said and done. By the way, the Galactic Legend unique isn't affecting his protection either. And I think this increase is going to happen at the same time as a plus 60%, not before or like after anything. So it's just kind of additional. It's like, okay, I have R9, so he gets plus 90% max health and max protection here. Add the 60, it's going to be plus 150% for each. So that's how I think all that works. But that granted ability is not using the level 3 mechanic to juice it up, so that is a little bit less of a benefit for him. However, he's going to be so tanky and durable now, he might be viable on defense. Typically, he's less viable on defense because you can get around him very easily with Sith Eternal Emperor. But Sith Eternal Emperor is going to be at a premium this season, or for the duration of this Datacron set, I believe. JML is going to have a harder time against JMK because his damage isn't increasing to match the increased survivability, and it's already hard enough to get Cat down. And I wonder if a Bastila lead with a health modded JML is going to be viable again. Her level 7 can't apply to him because he's not Old Republic, but it can make her more tanky to deal with. And with all the extra health and protection, it's going to be even harder to chew through him, especially the health. So if you load up on a health Datacron with the 30% extra health, or in 3v3 it might be like 15% extra health. But if you run it in 5v5, I don't know, maybe that's viable. Just kind of spitballing. I'm not sure how that's actually going to work. He might be great against Rey, because he can tank all the whirlwinds and he has great control on the team, but it will be an uphill battle for him to get through with the special granted ability, so who knows. But yeah, JML smack dab in the middle at 4. Coming in at number 3, and I could be wrong about this, but I'm saying JMK benefits the third most from it. He definitely has a good argument for benefiting the most, but I've concluded I think he's third. The insta-kill from Cat is at a premium for sure because everyone's harder to get through. But I think he's going to struggle a lot against Rey, because I did a match with my own Rey against JMK with a super survivable Datacron, and I timed out against the JMK, but JMK was on death's door, and he could not touch my Rey team. He just couldn't tickle it. No one died. Usually when I do it in Grand Arena, and that's without any of those Omicrons active on Ben. So normally in Grand Arena, I get down to just Ben, and then they're stupid, and then they attack Ben solo all the time, and I end up winning that way. But no, I had every single character survive, so he's going to struggle against Rey. And then Sith Eternal Emperor, I'll talk about that in a little bit. I think Sith Eternal Emperor will be better against him than we've been used to. But he still benefits a ton. I mean, his team is so durable with all the protection up in his leadership that he gives out, and might be some of his unique as well. But he gives bonus protection with the with his ultimate charge. There's so much health and protection recovery. It's just gonna be a nightmare trying to get through this. Like, people are gonna be stressed out trying to handle JMKs. I think he might be posted on defense this season. I'm not sure. We'll just have to see how it plays out. But yeah, and he ramps up mastery a lot too. So he has the tools to ramp up the damage, to get through the increased durability on other teams. He's getting mastery when he targets, when he gets targeted, and then when he targets others, he's granting them mastery. So they really scale up pretty well. And the only one I see him having problems with against is Rey. He might be better against Jabba than before. The thermals are still a concern because it's just based on max health, and even though that scales up, or you're getting more health, it's doing the same amount of damage. But maybe the increased protection will make up for that. I don't know. So we'll see how JMK does against Jabba in 5v5. In 3v3, he already has Jabba's number, and that's not going to change. He's going to whoop up on Lord Vader and pretty much everyone else he can destroy. But yeah, JMK is the bronze medalist. The silver medalist is Rey. And just before I start talking about her and the number one, I just want to remind you, this is not a ranking of what the best Galactic Legend is or the worst, even after this change. It's talking about who benefits the most from this Datacron set with all the survivability on the stats. So I'm not trying to say Rey's the second best Galactic Legend or Jabba's the sixth best. It is just who benefits from this. And I've already talked about Rey a lot in the JMK one. She gets so much survivability extra from this. Her health is going to go jump through the roof. I don't even have her modded that great for health anymore. I have her modded for offense, and that's not impressive either, because I have crit damage. Why do I have crit damage? Sometimes she wants some crit damage, but I am probably going to change that. I think I got to mix up after the raid. But she benefits. She's still going to chew through defense with her whirlwind. Her ultimate does true damage, so it doesn't care about defense, and she ramps so much mastery if you go against a team that's getting bonus turn meter, and this includes Rey herself. I think the best counter to Rey is going to be Rey, especially if they have what's his face, Cal Kestis on the team, because he's giving out a lot of turn meter. And then Rey's ultimate just goes through the roof, and you don't even have to worry how survivable they are, because she's eventually going to ultimate them to death, especially if you're the one controlling her on offense. And your team's going to be able to survive well. It's just going to be a mess. It's going to be a nightmare to handle her on defense. I don't know how Starkiller's going to do in 5v5 or 3v3. It might still be fine with the Mara J Datacron. But it will be more challenging. I'll have to see what the actual results are. JMK, like I talked about, he might struggle against Rey to get through that super beefiness, and you'd have to be strategic with your Force Leap and not waste it. Ben coming back all the time is going to be super annoying too. You have to balance taking Ben and Rey down in unit at the same time, kind of, and getting through all that survivability. It's just going to be very difficult. But yeah, I don't know if she could do anything against Jabba with this. Spring Leader Kylo, she can probably take him out. Probably Lord Vader, she can do a decent bit against. Sith Eternal Emperor, if you were to see him on defense, I don't know. I think she'd hold pretty well against Sith Eternal Emperor. So she's just doing amazing. I do think she benefits the second most, and I'd love to hear people's thoughts on that. So obviously there's one Galactic Legend left, and in my opinion, the one that benefits the most from this set is Sith Eternal Emperor. And that's because he just has insta-kills. He has so many insta-kills. He has more than anyone else. He does double insta-kills. I think his viability is going to skyrocket against JMK. It's already decent. I mean, it's terrible banners, but like it's pretty doable to take on a full JMK team with Eternal Emperor. You just need him to survive long enough to get some zaps out, and with extra survivability on him and his whole team, that makes it more likely. You're probably not going to want to run him. He's not going to benefit if you run him in the standard way of just him and Watt out there, 2-man, 2-1-5 teams. But if you take a full Sith team, even if they're crappy Sith, the whole Sith team, they recover all their health and protection whenever a Sith ally dies. So if they have more health and protection to go around, that's just more shots, cracks at the apple, bites at, I don't know, some metaphor, than you would have before. So I think mainly he's going to be great on offense. If you set him with like a super defense like Malik and Savage Repress, I guess he'd probably be harder there as well. But yeah, it's going up on offense for sure. It's for Kenobi, he was already handling himself. And a lot of people just mod for health and not even speed. They just want him to stay alive. I like to mod for good speed. I think that might still be the way to go. But you just want him survivable, close to 200k health if he can. And he's just going to hang in there until he can take people out. And his Sith allies are just basically drones to give him extra life. Or Pretons are going to help out. So it's going to be a whole thing, and he has his protection recovery until he gets the deal. I still don't think he can touch like Jabba or like Lord Vader. I don't think there's any hope of that. He does have problems with the dark side Galactic Legends, but all the light side, there's a good chance. I mean, he's going to wreck JML. I think he's going to wreck JMK. And he'll have a great shot against Rey. So yeah, we'll just have to see. But Sith Eternal Emperor definitely benefiting the most because he doesn't care about health or protection or defense on the enemy team. He just kills them on his own no matter what. So that's all, folks. Just as a reminder, from least to most benefiting from this Datacron set, we got Lord Vader, Jabba, Supreme Leader Kylo, then JML, Kenobi, Rey, and Sith Eternal Emperor. I'd love to hear disagreeing opinions or whatnot. It's still really early, so this is all just in my head, speculation, or what I have observed in squad arena so far. So plenty of room for error, I'm sure. Anyway, if you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and sub if you haven't already. I always love the support. Thanks so much, guys, and talk to you later.